Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. I hope that you're all doing really well out there and that you're all keeping safe. So today I have a bit of a fun one. I thought I would take you through step by step on how to actually make the baby onesies. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into it. The first thing you will need is a baby onesie. You're also going to need vinyl, specifically HTV. That's just heat transfer vinyl. They are the best to use on clothing. A ruler, a weeding tool, and if you've never seen a weeding tool before, this is what it looks like. You're also going to need scissors. You're going to need heat. So you're either going to want to use a heat press or you can even use an iron as well. Using an iron, you can also get really good results. A cutting machine of some kind, so whether that's a Cricut or a Silhouette Cameo. And along with your cutting machine, you're also going to need somewhere to actually design what you're going to make. You will also need a cutting mat. You'll actually want to measure your baby onesie just to make sure that you know what size you're going to be doing your design. I actually have a couple of Etsy orders, and this is one of my Etsy orders that have come through. So today I will be making my design about 4 inches. When you have your Silhouette Studio open, you're going to want to go to File and Open. Once that little box pops up, just choose the design that you will want to be working with today. It's really important that you make sure that the design is actually centered. Today, as you can see, I will be making my design about 4 inches, so you're going to want to change your design to be around 4 inches or whatever width you come up with. And I actually like to put a box around my design just so that helps me to be able to see where my design is, and so I don't actually waste more vinyl than what I need. I want to click the rectangle on the left hand side, which is called drawing tools. So you will want to click on the rectangle and draw around your design. And making sure that it looks like this is really important. So you don't want it to be black or a different color, because then your machine might actually have a bit of trouble cutting it. So you'll want to make sure that the outline is red and that the actual color is the graph. So once your design is looking like this, it is very important to flip your design, and you will do that by going to Object, Mirror, and flip horizontally. Now you do not want to forget this step. This is probably one of the most crucial steps, because if you don't flip it, you unfortunately won't be able to use your design, and it will be a waste of not only your time but your vinyl as well. You want to get out your cutting mat and you want to get out your vinyl. And as you can see, today I will be using my black vinyl. This is the stretchy kind, which is just a lot easier to work with. It's Easy Weed, that's what it's called. Now this is very important. You want to make sure that your vinyl is actually shiny side down, so the matte side is facing up. So unfortunately, if you do it the other way around, which I've learned the hard way, you will not be able to use it. It would be a waste of vinyl. So once your design is looking how you want it, you will want to go to Send. So here you'll find a lot of options. You can actually choose the material, the type of cut that you want, and the tool that you will be using. I have chosen Heat Transfer Smooth. I have done the Auto Blade as well. I really like that. So all I change is the cutting. I go from 2 to 3, and once that is all good, you will want to click Send. The great thing is your machine will actually make sure that you have flipped it. So if you haven't, that's a good reminder to go back in and flip your design. And if you're wondering how long it will take to cut, it will actually say here. So mine will take about 50 seconds, but obviously with more intricate designs and details, it will take longer. Now, just to be warned, these machines are quite loud. So here is just a little bit of what I actually hear when I'm cutting. It's quite loud, but trust me, after a while you really do get used to it. So once that is cut, you want to unload from your machine. Just peel off from your cutting mat, and then you can actually cut it out. And here is where the rectangle that you drew comes in handy. I just find it a lot easier. It just saves you a couple of steps. So instead of having to cut around and figure out where it is, you can just pull it straight off and see where the rectangle ends and where your design ends. So I highly recommend doing the rectangle. That's just what I personally like to do. You will now want to weed. So your design is starting to really take shape here. And now once it's weeded, you can just cut around the rectangle. It's really important to actually iron or put heat onto the onesie just as is. This is really important because you're going to want to iron out all of the wrinkles. So the placement of your design onto your onesie, you will want to try to get it centered and as aligned as you can. You don't want it being too far over to the left, too far over to the right. I also like to get my ruler and just measure the edges And now's the time to pop your onesie into your heat press. Or if you're using an iron, now's the time to iron onto the design. Making sure if you're using an iron or a heat press that you do have some type of protective sheet over the onesie, because if you don't, it will unfortunately burn the vinyl and it just won't be the same. And my heat press, as you might be able to see when I'm pulling it down, is medium to quite heavy pressure. If you have it too light, unfortunately the design won't stick. I like to have my onesie under there for 15 seconds. Then once that's done, I actually pull off the transfer like so, and you're left with your actual design on the onesie, and this is how it's going to look when you're finished. Putting it down a second time just ensures that it is actually stuck down as best as it can be and that it won't be peeling later on. I've actually been known to do it 3 or 4 times. I'm a little paranoid and I just want to make sure that it's stuck down as good as it can be, and that's definitely not a bad thing, making sure that your product is as good and as stuck down as it can be. Here is your finished onesie. So as you can see from here, the possibilities really are endless. So I really hope that this video has helped you. I really hope that the steps were easy to follow and that you got something out of it. Please let me know in the comments below if you'll be doing this.